Okay, so we're talking about where to find leads. Yesterday, we talked about calling for sale by owners and expireds, and all the ins and outs involved with that. And then today, we're going to talk about just going around to the people that we're already close to, specifically in the neighborhoods that we live in. Now, it doesn't have to be just the neighborhood that you live in, especially if you live on a country road like Danielle. Maybe she'll hit some neighborhoods that are nearby that would be, beneficial for her to look at. So I did some work yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Realist. Let me share my screen with you. Share screen. Okay, so this is the CoreLogic Realist. It's in MLS. If you go over here to your MLS dashboard, you'll see where it says Realist right here. If you click on that, that'll log you in. And what you want to do is you want to create a map. So, and I've saved my search. And yesterday I finally sat down and did it. I've been telling myself I'm going to do it because, as you can see in my neighborhood, look how big it is. There's 1,000 houses in my neighborhood. I cannot walk to 1,000 houses a month. So I needed to narrow it down. And I created, this is my neighborhood farm I created, and it has, let's see, where is it going? Search, or my default one. It has 107. I thought I narrowed it down from there. Okay. Wow. Thought I was down to 130. I'm pretty sure I'm down to 130. Maybe I didn't save my search, but that's okay. I can show you what I did. And then I exported this. I did a quick export and I put it all in a spreadsheet. And once you get it out of here, then you don't have to worry about coming back to here. So I already downloaded what I need. And so I can show you what I downloaded real quick on my desktop. So it creates a nice spreadsheet for you. You can select what information you want in there. You have all the addresses here, the owner's name, which is kind of cool. So yesterday I had my list with me when I was walking around my neighborhood, dropping off flyers, and I could see right away. If I saw somebody outside, I knew what their name was because I had it right in front of me, which was kind of cool. I can see the date of its last sale and what it sold for.
I think we're seeing your original screen because I can't see their names or anything.
Oh my goodness. I get so confused about that. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, let's try this again. All right.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
You can see the chart right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird because it doesn't have the green circle around it to tell me that you can see it. That's interesting. Okay, so it just gives you a chart of everybody, and you can see when it last sold, how much it sold for. You can see the last MLS status for it, how big it is, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. It's great information. So as I'm looking through this, some things stand out to me. So I'm like, oh my goodness, the last time this sold, it was 72,500. And it was in 1977. So what does that tell me? This tells me this is a person that's probably an empty nester and maybe looking to downsize or something like that, right? So I've highlighted them as a good candidate to do additional marketing to. Same thing here, 1977, 78. This one doesn't even have a sale price, so I'm guessing they're the original owners and they actually built the house. That's my guess on that one. When I see the TE, I see that it's in a trust. So that, and I see the price. So this to me looks like the original price. So this is definitely somebody that I want to continually reach out to. I also have my probate certification. So I have a card that says probate specialist. And I can throw that in with a mailer and do things like that. I did see that the last status on this house was expired. So I'm wondering if, what's going on here? Do we need to talk to them about getting their home relisted and getting it sold? So there's a good opportunity there. And these are just in the 130 addresses surrounding me that I can walk to. It took me about 2 hours last night. And I walked around and I was going slow because I was also making notes, and I can show you what I did real quick. So I printed out my map here and I figured out the directions I'm going to go. And I took a lot of notes so I could then go back and put it all in order in the direction that I'm going to go. And you can see here, I have notes that I've taken. The yellow ones are the ones that I think, have good possibility of downsizing. And then everything I've highlighted green, those are, because I was just putting my newsletters in their newspaper slot. So everybody that's in green does not have a newspaper slot. So I'm going to actually mail it to them, or I'm going to put it in their door at some point. My goal is to do this every month, walk around the neighborhood, throw the newsletter in to those who have the newspaper slot, and then mail it to everybody else on here. So it kind of saves me a little bit of money, and it makes sure it gets to all of them because go ahead.
What's your newsletter look like again?
Yeah, I can show that to you. And I subscribe to fast newsletters because I don't have the wherewithal to create this myself.
Okay.
And it sends out, and if you set it up through MailChimp, through your command, you can create an email list that's connected with MailChimp. MailChimp allows you to have one free email list from command. So I have my one free list as my newsletter list. So basically everybody gets put on it, and they get an email version of this. So this is my door knocking version of it. And then I have an email version. What I like about it is it has a quiz question here. Like it says August quiz question, because I want to get more information from my neighbors, not just their address. I want to know their email. I want to know their phone number. So this quiz, when people submit, they can win a $5 gift card. So if they submit their information, and I get their email, and if they're the winner that month, then I'll send them a $5 gift card. So far, I've had one person submit and they won a couple of months ago. This month so far, I've had 2 people submit. So I doubled my results, and eventually, as people get more excited about getting my flyer, they see it's the August newsletter question. I have also, there's a section here I can edit, and I can put recent sales there, or I've just thought, that'd be really cool for my neighborhood to put like events happening in Strongsville. So maybe just a list of events. So it becomes a little more personalized, becomes more of a value item for them. Maybe they'll put it up on their refrigerator to remember some of the events. So whatever I can do to make this valuable for them and to be a little excited about getting it each month. So that's my plan. And I would suggest have a plan, nail down, somewhere between 100 and 200 houses that are going to be your houses. These are the people, and it's consistency. So these are the people that you're going to consistently reach out to, where they know you as the realtor of choice for their neighborhood. And it becomes a no-brainer. Oh, it's time to sell. We need to call Danielle. Go grab her flyer or her postcard or whatever she just sent to us. You can also, through command, you can send automated postcards announcing recent sales and things like that. And you can target a neighborhood as well. It's just limited in what you can mail out. So they only have a few. You can create your own postcard. It's very complicated, and I have done it before. You have to get the sizing right. It's easier to use their pre-made postcards right now, though. They're just listed, just sold, things like that. Those are the kind of options you have. I wanted a more community approach, which is why I signed up for fast newsletters here. So this would be more of a canvassing farming technique. where you are doing this, I would say at least once a month, you're sending something to your farm. And if you think about the investment in it, it's not really that much, especially if you can drop them off at their door, in 2 hours, you've got bam, 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 if they don't have a newspaper slot. And then I just have the few left over that I have to mail out. And I'm going to handwrite on it, and then throw it in the mail to them. So getting organized is the trick on that one. They do have apps that you can purchase on your phone. If you're doing door knocking and you're having conversations with people, you can, it knows exactly what address you're at. So then you can open up that address and take notes about your interaction with that person, or add an email address or something like that. I prefer to clipboard version. So I'm going to get all my addresses in order and have a little note-taking space. I do better with the paperwork in front of me because I can tend to forget I have an app that I should be looking at. So whatever works for you, I would highly recommend doing that, incorporating that as part of your lead generation, because those are people that live with you basically. And if you're out walking, walking your dog, you're already making connections with them. So all you got to do is just take that next step and make sure they have your contact information always. So when they need it, they know where to find it. So that's a pretty easy way to build your sphere. And then I have a little bit of information about if you're going to do the door knocking aspect of it, which I didn't do last night, though I talked to several of my neighbors, and it was nice because I could look down at my sheet. I was trying to remember their names. Now I had it right there in front of me. And so I did do some chatting with neighbors, and I had my dog with me, and he was causing trouble and all that kind of stuff. So it was hard to miss me walking around. So if you really want to talk to people, I would recommend going out on a Saturday, maybe like at 11, around there. That tends to be when most people are home. So if you go out on a Saturday, you're going to have more success there. And then I'm going to pull up my notes. You guys know Leanne Venuen. She is one of our agents on the Gladys Hayes team, and she used to do door knocking as a job before she became a real estate agent. So she gave us a ton of helpful hints, and I wrote them all down the last time she talked. So I was just going to go over them again to refresh our brains. I just need to find where I put them.
When we did that open house for you, her and I, that was,
Yeah.
we only saw one person. Her and I talked about that because I'm like, she started so young doing that door-to-door sales, and that's where I struggle, like trying to sell myself door to door.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. So she was just giving me tips, and she's just so confident.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
is. She really is. And you don't have to worry about selling yourself. You are becoming a friend. You are becoming a source of information, someone they know they can talk to. It's just you're having questions with them. Say, hey, how are you doing? Did you have any questions about the market? Maybe I could help you answer some of those. So you're just becoming a source of, if you look at it instead of as selling yourself, and look at it as you're bringing something of value for them and something that they want, for sure. I can't tell you how many times, like, I tell somebody I'm a real estate agent and they just want to talk to me about real estate, and I have somewhere to go, and I'm like, so people already see you as having value, for sure. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so some of her door-to-door do's and don'ts, and I'm just going to read through the notes that I took the last time she taught. Number one, be casual. So like I just said, don't act like a salesman, and don't put out too much energy, because that can be a put off, and let them know that your presence is safe. You literally have 1 second to get them to like you. So if you come off right at the beginning as kind of awkward and scared, that's going to be what they associate with you. So definitely keep it casual. You're just a neighbor walking through the neighborhood. Have a good attitude, present positivity, present openness, smile, good posture, use your hands to talk. And this one's important. Give the customer space at least 3 feet back, especially with the coronavirus. I think our first instinct when we're thinking about, talking to somebody new and we need to get them to like us, and we maybe overdo it and we get a little bit too much in their space. Just the first thing you do when you see them, they come to the door, just back up a little and talk to them from a distance, because that's the more natural way of doing it. And it feels less threatening that way. It's important to speak with urgency as long as you're not aggressive. People don't like aggressive salespeople. So you could speak, for example, you'd be like, the market is super hot. And I mean, if you're thinking about selling, this is the time to do it. You've got to get in on this. So it's urgent, but it's not then berating them if they say no, kind of thing, right? Definitely speak about the customer. So maybe they have pets, maybe they have a garden, just the normal things you would say to your neighbor. It really is that simple. If you see a flower that you recognize that you really like, and you can ask them about that, or you don't know what it is and you really want to know what it is, people love to talk about themselves. So give them the opportunity to do that. And they love it even more when somebody else is listening. And then keep track. So make sure you have a way to keep track of who you're talking with. I started doing door knocking, and I would have great conversations with people. And then I would give them my flyer and I'd walk away. And then the next day I'm like, boy, it sure be nice to mail a card to them or something, except I didn't write down the address of who I was talking to. So I had no way of remembering where I stopped to talk to somebody. So that's why I've created my list. I'm going to be able to take notes. And when I have a good conversation, then I can hand write a card to them and just say, hey, it was great chatting with you. And that really goes a long way. And then make sure you have something to give them. So you have, whether it is news about the market, whether it's like a newsletter like I have, or even just your business card, make sure you have something that you can give them when you're done having that conversation. Mirroring and matching. So does anybody know what that is? What does it mean to mirror and match?
Kind of like to just match their energy and their body language.
Yeah, very good. So if they're talking kind of slow like this, and they don't have a ton of expression, those are hard for me. So I do my best, because if I start going in like normal Jennifer me, they're going to be like, I think she's psychotic. So I'll bring the energy down and I'll match it, and it becomes more of a safe place and a comfortable area for them to talk with me. And it's something familiar. This is what they're used to. So, and I'll even do that when I'm on the phone with people, like doing for sale by owner calls. You'll hear my tone change a lot. I'm like multi-personality or something. You might wonder, what is she doing? It's because I'm attempting to talk to them the way they're talking to me, because that's what they perceive as being the correct way to communicate with somebody. So if they're direct and maybe somewhat harsh, I'm going to be direct and somewhat harsh with them too. And they'll respect that. If they're like this, they go, hello. I'll go, hello, how are you? I will totally do that all day long, because if I do the direct and harsh with hello, that's not going to work at all. And then if the person who is direct and harsh and I go, hello, they're going to be like, I would never trust this lady with anything that I own. So that mirroring and matching is very important. You can practice doing that throughout the day, whoever you're talking with, and just, actors do it all the time. That's how they study. They observe people's behavior and they imitate it. And it's kind of fun. Definitely recommend doing that. And you can call for sale by owners all day long and practice on them. And they're just going to have to deal with it because they put their phone number out there if you want practice. Let's see. Let me go back to my notes. And then, oh yeah, if it says no soliciting, do not knock on that door. You're just asking for problems for sure. Don't be slick or cocky or anything like that. I don't think there's anybody who likes an arrogant person. So, even the bulls, the people who are really, aggressive themselves, they don't want to talk to somebody who's trying to one up them. So make sure you're never coming across arrogant, and don't be aggressive with people. And I like this one. Don't talk yourself out of a sale. If you talk too much, you'll turn them off and lose their interest. Remember, we're spending more time listening, opening our ears and listening. That has a much bigger impact than talking too much. And let them kind of pursue you a little, right? So you're in that dating stage and you want to, yes, you're starting out courting them. At some point though, you want them to court you as well. So that you don't want to give it all away like that, there's no respect there. Then you need to, entice them a little and pull them in with, and people are just enticed by real estate and learning more about it. So let them ask questions and they totally will. You don't have to give them everything up front. I like, she says, the bullet theory, only shoot one bullet at a time. So if you're just like, this and this and this and this and this, you're like, whoa, that's too much, lady. Okay. So that is all the notes that I have on there. What do you think about door knocking or canvassing? What did you hear today that you liked? And then maybe you would implement here soon.
Well, the mirroring thing, that's going to be fun.
It is.
I'm gonna need a GoPro because if it don't work out, at least I can make like a comedy show out of it. It'll be pretty entertaining.
That's
But
nice.
I've never heard that, and that makes sense. So that's something I will definitely utilize next time.
You can use it on the phone, on appointments, showings, totally use it. It's great.
No, that was something I had never thought of before either. So yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I'm excited to use that. And also just how you did like your farming thing. I think that's a really good idea. And there's like a neighborhood right behind my house. So that would be nice to get my foot in the door there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key, like I said, I'm just now getting organized with it. So I'm excited because I was kind of just random door knocking. And from everything I've heard is it can't be random. It has to be very intentional who you're targeting. The price point's important. I wouldn't really target anything above 500,000. That's yeah. I mean, that's just me personally. I would rather, sell something that's more, on the people's radar and what they're looking for. You can for sure. Just think through the price point, look at, the demand in that neighborhood for sure. Any other thoughts?
No, but I do like that creating a map thing on the Realist.
Yeah, so you can use the polygon tool to sort of draw around where you want. And then if it keeps popping up houses that you don't want, just keep pulling that line in further and they'll eventually go away there. I had to start over several times. It was kind of annoying, but once you get it done, you get it. It's good. You can also go to the county auditor site if you want to get, I don't know how Medina's works real well. You can see the map and the address, click on the parcel number and see what the address is too that way. If you want to, instead of like the way I did it, where like, a whole bunch at a time, you could actually go in one at a time in the auditor site and then plan your routes and then write down each address and the owner's name that way too. But the nice thing about the Realist is, like I said, being able to see that one that was expired, getting to see when they last sold, that was eye-opening for me last night. And I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That seems like a good resource to have.
Yep. Okay, so I guess we will stop recording from here and then I'm going to help Danielle with her commissions, and then if Samantha, would you be okay if she kind of watched what we did?
Oh, no, I don't care.
Okay, so if you want to hang on, you're welcome to. If not, I will see you soon then.
I'll hang out for a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay.